you said you're in an influential position as a project manager.
Yes.
My question to you is, are the junior built environment professionals in the public sector well positioned as well? Because we can't put the onus only on those who are senior to us, but we need to spread the load. So is our junior built environment professionals well positioned to also make a meaningful contribution onto what you would like to contribute on the recovery process of South Africa?
You love, again, asking complex questions. And again, no, because I love your questions, but you know, they are very controversial, because this is something that will be consumed by public, and I don't want to sound political, but I want to give you an honest answer. Not only in South Africa, we have a problem in our society as we speak. I will deviate for 2 seconds. If you can watch news today, you won't see anything positive about South Africa. You won't see anything positive about your work, about what you do. So the society itself, their mindset or their philosophical approach, it's dented. So why I'm sketching this to you? If you look at South Africa as a country, we are so fortunate that we've got so many projects that can help and assist and promote well-oiled juniors to be best executives. So many, there are plenty. I can't even count them. You know, even in maybe where you're working and in any public sector, so many projects that can be executed and that can groom these young professionals. However, we've got the pandemic that we are facing as a country. When we moved in a 1994 plane that is going to a 2020 plane, we were very isolated as a country. We only saw it maybe in the first 5 years where Mandela was promoting the Rainbow Nation. We are such a disunited country. We are such a hateful country. We are such a moaning and a complaining country. So what does that do into a space like a built-in environment space? You've got seniors who are bitter and angry and not that much professional, who are not willing to come up with plans and strategies that promote succession planning, that promotes excellence, that promotes youngsters being well-equipped, being fed with information, being trained. We've got contractors in place that have been in the industry for a very long time. And then now you've got a public sector that absorbs a junior or a graduate into a position of influence. When you come out from school and you get into a position of influence without experience, you are then compromised. So you've got those people who have not actually sweat or worked or participated in the space, feeling the hierarchy, which is your engineer or your normal professional to senior professional into an executive. You look at the age gap, you've got executive who are 30 years old. You've got senior managers who are 25 years old. And it's because of the past, it's because of the history. So now a person that comes from school does not get that opportunity to be trained, because even a person who's supposed to be training him is not trained. So we need to reconcile with the situation, bring back those who are experienced, come with strategies that will help and assist companies in terms of succession planning, promote a culture of unity because there is a huge disunity in the built-in environment. A contractor and the client is like a mice and a cat. You know, it claims, it fights. The public sector employees are incompetent. You know, we first need to fix the culture of South Africa into a unified culture, a culture of working together. Then we address those issues we are talking about, whereby then these youngsters are well trained, they are given opportunities, they are given a platform, they are even they need to be incentivized for actually doing things. Even now, you will listen. No, from now moving forward, you won't receive an incentive either from your company as a private sector or in a public because of this pandemic. But what does it do? It does not motivate youngsters. So my view is that it's as a country, we are ailing. We've got this disease of not being united. Once we start being united, information sharing, you know, mentors, mentorship programs, identifying talent, nurturing talent, making sure that you channel them into those positions so that we do not have a problem whereby saying that these students from varsity, they do not know nothing. So that's my view, that's my take.
Thanks. So I'm going to flip the question to you, Sibani. Built environment professional, your seniors, especially in the public sector, do you think they are well positioned to deal with this economic recovery, to play a meaningful role in this economic recovery? And please explain your answer.
Well, it's quite an interesting question. Quite an interesting question, a bit quite controversial as well. But I'll do my best to try and be politically correct as much as I can. Well, look, it's gonna touch on a bit of what Mr. Dlamini has said. From a point of view of a candidate, a junior professional, I would say that, especially looking at it from the public sector point of view, we do have quite a number of challenges already that we are facing in the public sector, and that is a skills shortage, a resource shortage, and at times a financial shortage as well. So with regards to senior professionals, I think that to a degree, if we are talking about skills, I would say that they are positioned. But if you're talking about things like now resources, from a public sector point of view, there's a lot of shortcomings. You will find that if you're working in the public sector, there are many things that the private sector has that you won't have, and which in turn make it difficult for you to implement projects within the time frames that the public sector would have in implementing those projects. At times you'll find that a project in the private sector, to go through stage 1 to 4, the planning stage to procurement, will probably take 3 months, and in the public sector it'll probably take a year, 2 years, and most of the time you'll find that it's the resourcing and the shortage of professionals within the public sector. Now, the senior professionals that are there, they will have the skills in order for them to be able to implement these projects that are there. They will have the skills for them to run these projects, but the resourcing is what is our biggest challenge. And I think that the government needs to play a huge role in ensuring that its professionals, be it senior or candidates, are well equipped in order for them to be able to implement the projects that the government has rolled out, because it makes it very difficult for one to manage projects without the necessary resources. There are many stories that I can share, but I think that they might get me in trouble. But, you know, from just a general point of view, I find that the government professionals are still not well resourced in order for them to be able to perform at the same level as private professionals. Mr. Dlamini mentioned that sometimes you'll hear that private sector professionals will say public sector professionals are incompetent, there's this and that. And most of the time you'll find that it's not necessarily because of incompetence, but of being ill-resourced within the department. You will find problems like fiber, like problems like cloud computing, software that you need to be able to perform the duties that the private sector professionals perform, you know. And all these challenges make it really challenging for public sector professionals to be able to produce the work in time and within the same quality as private sector professionals, even though the expectation is the same for everyone. Everyone must produce the same quality of work. Everyone must produce at the same time frames, and everyone must produce within the necessary, within the budgets that have been put. So basically, just to round off of what I was saying, basically I think that the professionals, with regards to skills, I think that those that are there are equipped in terms of skills and experience to be able to implement the projects in place. But I think that the government needs to look at capacitating the state or public sector entities, capacitating them with the requisite a number of people in order for the work to be able to, for the work to be implemented properly, and to capacitate the state with regards to resources.